Chapter 2. Strange report card. Lu Ping came out of the recruitment office. The sky was dark, and the cold rain fell down, driving away the stuffy heat of recent days. He sighed and took out an umbrella from his storage ring and walked toward the bus stop. In this era of immortal cultivation, cultivators at the first level of the foundation establishment stage were everywhere. In fact, cultivators at the first level of the foundation establishment stage could already ride a flying sword. But flying swords were very expensive. Even the most ordinary flying sword was not something that Lu Ping could afford. In addition, there were energy bikes and magical equipment. But no matter which one it was not something that Lu Ping could afford. The money he had on him could only allow him to maintain his basic living expenses. Therefore, he could only head to the bus station. Fortunately, the buses in this era no longer needed money. However, in comparison, the speed of the buses was definitely not as fast as other means of transportation. There were quite a number of people who took the buses. No matter what era it was, the bottom-class people were always the majority. After getting on the bus, Lu Ping began to cultivate with his eyes closed. The school was very far away, so he wasn't in a hurry. Although cultivating without resources was very slow, Lu Ping had no other choice. When Lu Ping returned to his dormitory, it was already dark. Only 2 people lived in Lu Ping's dormitory. One of them was Lu Ping's best friend, Zhang Biao. Compared to Lu Ping, his family background was better, and his resources were better. He was a few years younger than Lu Ping, and he was only 19 this year. But he was already in the first level of the foundation establishment realm, and he was ready to continue his studies. Although this result was nothing in Binhai City, it was still not bad. As soon as he arrived at the door of the dormitory, Lu Ping heard someone sobbing. Lu Ping's hand, which was about to open the door, hesitated. Was it the 8th time this year? As he was hesitating, the door opened. Zhang Biao stood at the door, his eyes full of tears. When he saw Lu Ping, he burst into fresh tears. Lu, I'm heartbroken. Lu Ping sighed faintly and walked into the dormitory with a calm expression. Zhang Biao followed closely behind, crying, as he said, Lu, I love her so much. Why did she leave me? Is it because I didn't buy her the latest flying sword? But it's really too expensive. The Love the 10th 13 flying sword produced by those horrible people is too expensive. I really don't understand. Why does she have the heart to hurt me? Lu Ping took off his coat, turned around, and handed a mirror to Zhang Biao. Take a good look. What makes you think that you're more attractive to girls than the Love the 10th 13? Zhang Biao held the mirror and shook his hand for a long time. He sighed and said, actually, I think that my girlfriend isn't as attractive as the Love the 10th 13 either. Lu Ping nodded and said, indeed. Which cultivator could refuse a very cool flying sword? Although high-end flying swords were made by masters, for most people, the Love the 10th 13 flying sword was already an extremely high-end standard flying sword. At least for Lu Ping, such a flying sword was definitely out of reach. Lu, come out and eat something with me, Zhang Biao suggested. Lu Ping raised his eyebrows. You're treating me? For Lu Ping, who was in a tight financial situation, saving a little was important. Yes. Zhang Biao nodded and said, I can't afford the Love the 10th 13 anyway. Let's go out for a good meal today. Let's go to Mountain and River Residence. Lu Ping swallowed his saliva. Mountain and River Residence was a good place. The purchasing power of star dollars was very strong. But he had to be frugal. For example, if Lu Ping ate a meal now, his normal expenses would be about 1 or 2 star dollars. But the food that Lu Ping ate for this amount would only be the most ordinary and bland food. As a cultivator, eating these things could indeed replenish the energy and nutrition that the body needed. But these things contained a foul air. To a self-cultivator, it was actually harmful. After eating it, they would need more time to expel the foul air. However, the things sold in the Mountain and River Residence were different. All the things that entered the mouth were specially cultivated spiritual objects. After a cultivator ate them, not only could they replenish the energy needed by the body, but they would also be beneficial to cultivation. Although the benefits were not very obvious, it was definitely better than eating ordinary food. In a place like the Mountain and River Residence, a single person's meal would cost at least a few $100. To many rich people, it might not matter, but Lu Ping's family could not afford to go to such a place. Lu Ping even said that he had never been to a place like the mountain and river residence ever since he was young. Okay, Lu Ping agreed immediately. He quickly took out his phone and sent a message to his online girlfriend. Baby, I'm going out for dinner with my friends tonight. I might have to come back later to chat with you. Huang Shaoqi, his girlfriend, replied, HMPH. Why didn't you say so earlier? I still want you to play games with me. We just decided this. My good friend has fallen out of love. I have to comfort him. If he decides to commit suicide, how could I bear it? When men went out to have fun, they always had all sorts of grand excuses. Huang Shaoqi replied, all right then, but you're not allowed to drink. Pay attention to your phone. Why do I need to look at my phone? Because once I talk to you, you're not allowed to not see it. All right, I love you. Mwah, baby is the best. That's for sure. Lu Ping put away his phone. His face broke into a sweet smile. Zhang Biao's face was filled with jealousy as he said sourly, hee hee, your relationship is still good. You have to report to her when you go out to eat. Lu Ping smiled and said, that's true. Otherwise, my little baby would be worried. Zhang Biao asked curiously, Lu, then why did you reject her request? Speaking of this matter, Lu Ping sighed. He said, now you also know that no matter if it's my personal situation or my family's situation, I'm not allowed to have any additional expenses. As a man, I can't let my girl live frugally. Zhang Biao thought for a moment and said, it's the same logic. In Phoenix Cry Building, Huang Shaoqi looked at the photo of the man in front of her. He was very handsome. Huang Shaoqi was very satisfied. There was also Lu Ping's resume below. Cultivation. Foundation establishment first level True Qi intensity C total amount of True Qi C. Basic talisman theory knowledge S basic sword technique theory knowledge S basic pill theory knowledge S basic array theory knowledge S basic weapon refining theory knowledge S basic talisman operation E basic sword skill usage B basic medicinal pill refining F basic array arrangement F basic weapon refining method F magic weapon none bloodline none. Looking at this long list of results, Huang Shaoqi understood why Lu Ping had been rejected. Although his theoretical knowledge was very high, when it came to practical skills, it was terrible. Only his basic sword technique had a B grade. She couldn't help but feel puzzled. All his kinds of theoretical knowledge were top-notch, but when it came to his practical skills, he had extremely low grades. Why was this?